2024 is the year of exposure, and even though it's that year now, all the things that are coming out now, between that time and I think the time when I spoke to you last, it's probably about 2014, 15. What do you think in that short space of time and now, like, what do you think has happened to the state of UK music in that time, and currently how do you see it going forward from now?
The state of UK music, particularly within the urban domain, I would say I feel like it's taken a decline, because like you have the boom and the bust. I feel like there was a short boom when drill started getting, popping, unexpectedly charting. They didn't know it was going to chart. It's just because it was in that Wild West type of territory. Streaming kind of was just emerging. With all the beef that's been going on in London, it kind of skyrocketed everyone's views, because people wanted to see a similar thing that happened in Chicago. Everyone's checking out the views and the videos because they want to see who their ops are. They want to see who said this about that person, and that one said that about that event that happened last week. So you've got that interactivity going, and it's driving the views up, which are then driving the chart positions up, because the streams are counting towards the charts. So what happened is that you had an accidental boom because the labels didn't plan for it. So that's now made urban music lift up. But then now they've kind of figured out, pop-ups, so they've like blocked pop-ups for artists. You can't, the pop-up sales that you make only count at certain places, whereas before you could have pop-ups anywhere. That was kind of pushing a lot of people to have chart success. They've locked that off. So the labels are starting to get involved and pull back the reins, and it's affected the urban music. So I feel like we're in a bit of a dip, a bit of a bust.
What about the quality of music as well?
I think the quality's gone down as well, because everyone's trying to make what they think the next person's making that sounds good, that could pretend. Everyone's thinking they want to hit, as opposed to what the essence of music really should be about, which is basically you've got an art form and you want people to see where you're coming from, or you've got something politically or socially, economically that you want to talk about and highlight, whether it's police brutality, you know what I'm saying to you, issues that affect the everyday man or what affects you where you're from. People are not really doing that anymore. Everyone's kind of making, copying what everyone else is doing. There's not really like standout artists anymore. Everyone's just kind of mimicking.
Okay.
That's how I personally feel. People are scared and none the wiser, because it's like you don't even have to be a musician to do music now. Like back in the day when you think someone does music, there was actually a musician. Now it's just some kid who can rap or do a little bit of singing, who's gone to his friend's house, who's got a laptop, who makes beats.
Done a bit of Fruity Loops,
done a bit of rapping with a bit of auto-tune. Their friend has shot the video and it's up now.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
On the iPhone, by the way.
Yeah, on the iPhone. Great quality. Great quality.
Like they've literally, it's done in a way where like everyone can make be a music artist anywhere at any time.
Anywhere, anytime.
And that's why I think that the quality of it has gone down. I think with with drill, as opposed to the negativity that it brings. Like, I think you're right, everyone is doing the same thing, and there's not really been anyone who's done something with drill that I can see that's been different, that's been pushed mainstream. But it also feels like the blame is with sometimes the labels as well, like they're taking advantage.
Yeah, I believe that that's what they're there to do. Do you know what I mean? They're there to monopolize on a money-making situation. Do you know what I mean? Like that's like, a plumber is gonna plumb, a labourer is gonna do labour, an ambulance is gonna pick up victims, you know what I'm saying, and labels are gonna monopolise a situation where they can be seen to make a buck.
I heard it's not as bad as America though. Like, do labels over here take like life insurance out on certain artists, like as I've heard they do in America?
I'd have to see each person's individual thing, but I believe it just depends on how valuable that artist is to to the label and their market share and their earnings. Like if it's a big artist, then yeah, it's because it's like labels in America still have companies set up here. So Universal here is still linked to Universal in America, even though they're registered as respective businesses to their territories. They all come under the same umbrella. Do you know what I mean? So like if an American Universal artist comes here, they get looked after by the UK Universal team and so forth, you know what I mean? So yeah, I believe it does. It goes across the board. But like, to me, I just think it depends on if they're a legacy or an artist that they're deeply invested in. If it's just a single deal, then nah, they're probably not. But if it's an artist that they've had for 10 albums and they've invested millions into it, then 100%, because it's good. That's how you're gonna make your money on the long term. It's on the catalogue, it's on the publishing, it's on the, do you know what I'm saying? The likeness, whether it's down to the t-shirts that become big or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying to you? Like whatever merchandising kicks off, like could be little dolls, miniature dolls, or it could be, do you know what I mean? Like memorabilia, whatever, you know.
That's crazy. I think it was just kind of more I think the angle I was looking at more was from the American perspective, when what it seemed like that they were doing it with intentions, that knowing that these artists might die. So it was almost like a, how should we say, insurance backup sort of kind of thing, where it's like, okay, you're an artist from the hood, we're gonna put some people can insure your life, but this is in the case that you may die, knowing that the highly likelihood is that they will die, and then eating off of the profits from the insurance of them dying. So I was just wondered if that was the kind of same play they had with certain drill artists over here in the UK, whether some record labels were known for doing that kind of thing, or whether it was a thing that even actually happened.
Yeah, I don't believe they'll do it on single artists and maybe drill artists, but I believe they'll have it on their like bigger artists, because obviously every territory is different. But like, for instance, like rap is a bigger market share in America, so that would make perfect sense. Like I even questioned like xxxtentacion when he done his new deal with Columbia. I can't remember how much millions he got signed for, but then you're letting him out and he's just wandering about, and when he got murdered he was looking at motorcycles, and it was youths that seen him in the motorcycle shop that then decided to follow him back to his car and murder him. And I'm like, how are you letting this guy who's just signed for millions out on his own with no armed security? Like, it's almost like that was a setup in my mind, because how can you have someone who you've invested millions into, who people are going to know he's a multi-millionaire, and he's out, he's just willy-nilly with no security? That's like easy pickings, and exactly what I thought it was is exactly what happened. You know what I mean?
Made me think maybe the insurance on his life was more than what he actually got signed for. Probably. He didn't even know that.
Probably was. And his streaming numbers have gone through the roof since he's been banned, so the label would have been eating off the masters, obviously whatever market share they give it to his mum or whatever it might be. But like, it's something that happens across the board. He's not the only one, do you know what I mean?
No, like, that seems to be a cycle that happens. Like, you get to a certain level, you start getting known, you die, that's it. All of a sudden your numbers are going through the roof.
Yeah. So
how do we fix this? How would you, like, coming from an artist perspective, with all the milestones that you've done, working behind the scenes, the people you've worked with, in the current direction you think it's going, what do you think would be the remedy to help fix the current UK music situation?
I honestly feel like it's just,
or how can it improve?
I just think it's about maybe just communities of people with like minds who want to achieve and kind of build something for the longevity, as opposed to quick money schemes, people just chasing like artificial success. I feel like it's going to be like a team of people who understand and working towards the same vision, you know, artist development, nurturing real artists for the long term, the same way that you have, you know, long term rock and indie bands and pop stars, the same kind of effort put into the urban sector with You know what I mean? Everything across the board.
So it has to be everything across the board.
Everything, yeah. Same way, like similar in America when they have their entertainment companies.
Okay.
And you might have, you know, like an entertainment company that's got all these rappers and blah blah blah, but then they distribute maybe through a major, but the major doesn't own them. They're their own company, whether it's, you know, Yo Gotti with CMG, or it was, you know, QC the label at one point with the Migos, and you know they had City Girls and they had, you know, whatever, but it was like the entertainment company hub that houses these artists, and within there you have your own stylists, your own producers, you know what I'm saying? So it's like your own core family.
Yeah.
And then you're just basically, maybe if you so wish to plug into the major for a greater reach, for marketing, for budgets, but you're not really being looked